Check. 1 2 1 2. All right, man.
You sound beautiful.
I don't look bad either. All right. Where's your head at this morning, man?
Drugs are they're good and they're bad, but mostly they're good even when the situation is bad. But drugs, my head was with drugs. Well, not literally. I'm not on drugs, yo. I swear, I'm not on drugs. And shoes, man. I was gonna talk to you about the 80s style and how everything revolutionized and how that drew into music. And then I was gonna ask you something that I've always wanted to ask you, which was have you ever really listened because you wanted to, not because it was on? Have you ever listened to Spanish music? Don't tell me I don't understand it. I
No,
get that
motherfucker.
part,
My distinction was going to be this: when you say Spanish music, you mean music.
Selena.
No, I never listened to Selena, man. It doesn't work for me.
But it doesn't work for you sonically, or it doesn't work for you.
Yeah. Like the sound doesn't like. It's like, all right. I know it's not exactly the same thing, but it's something about the.
Do you under
the aesthetic
like,
of
it? I'm not being an asshole. I'm being for real. Do you understand Spanish?
I speak Spanish at probably about a third.
No. But it's
3-year-old. Music most time. Like, all right, let me put it this way.
Like, if I were to talk to you in Spanish, you don't have to respond like verbally. But if I were to speak to you in Spanish, would you understand what I'm telling you?
Depends on what we're talking about. Like my vocabulary is very spotty.
Como si yo te dijera qué tipo de música te gusta. Respond in English. ¿Qué tipo de música te gusta?
Okay, see, I got like maybe 1 out of 5 words there, man.
So you don't understand the sentence?
No.
Oh, okay. That's what I was trying to get. Yeah. Okay, I got you. So yeah, then music would the Spanish music.
No, but see, that's where I'm saying it's a little bit different. Like,
but then again, like me, I understand Spanish, so I listen to Spanish music, and there's a bunch of Spanish music that I sound. But with like salsa, I like it, but without words. Okay, I could do away with the words. You know,
that was where I was going to get nitpicky, because I actually like a lot of like Spanish guitar, like which is a lot of that is not. There is no vocals to that shit, man.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say,
or like, do you mean like even with Spanish music that has riffs sorry y'all. Santana, Carlos Santana. You know how his music, like in some songs, he has lyrics, like they're full-fledged songs, but there's some songs that have words. I mean, they're lyrics, but they're more of like riffs and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So fucking shit, bro. Is your phone on? Is it gonna vibrate the shit out of this shit?
Probably. What are you trying to do?
No, I was just trying to. I forgot. I put my shit on silent so it doesn't vibrate. But I leave it up here so I can see. Anyway, so yeah. Well, I mean that's where I was gonna.
Well, I was gonna say, man, like it's not a 1-to-1 type of thing. Like, all right, the Santana example would be like, first of all, I already enjoy like not only Santana but like his band for like the compositional stuff. So like doesn't really
because like from there I was gonna and I know we've talked about it before.
Motherfucker, you keep asking me questions and not letting me finish the damn answer. But go ahead and ask the question.
No, well, it's good. What I was gonna go into was uh, like the real impact that Spanish music has had on the culture of English music and vice versa.
Okay, man, you're being way too vague there when you say Spanish music, man. Like, what do we...
No, but like, that's why I gave you an example. Like, for example, Selena, Santana. I was gonna go with I don't know.
Okay, now to go back to one of the questions I didn't finish answering, what I was trying to say was, man, with Selena, it's not a 1-to-1, but Gloria Estefan.
Yeah.
Like, now most of her shit was in English. Now she's got a lot of music in Spanish. She's got a lot of vocals in Spanish, but it's that late 90s, I'm sorry, early 90s, like late 80s type of like the poppiness to it.
Yeah.
Like that kills it for me before we even get to the. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a couple like.
Well, what about the older stuff?
Like how
the
so?
Older stuff? Because we're talking about. Wait, who are you saying that is poppy?
Gloria Estefan and Selena.
Oh, okay. Well, then yeah. So with like Selena, because I understand what you mean by Selena, like the poppy stuff, because towards the end of her career, unfortunately, she was trying to cross over because the label kept telling her. We need you to cross, and she didn't want to. She was like, "It's not me. You know, you're asking me to be somebody that I'm not." But the label kept pressuring her to, you need to cross over, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So towards the late of her career, she was doing that poppy sound that you're talking about.
That's probably the only music I've ever actually heard from her.
So what I was gonna say was, or what I was gonna ask was. What about her older stuff? Her older stuff was more.
I wouldn't even know how to make the distinction. Like, all right, like,
well, just if you I mean, I'm not trying to be sarcastic or an asshole, but she doesn't have that many albums. If you just go back to the first one, I love Selena, but I'm just.
All right, that's cool. Look, man, I know more than a few bands where people will like. I've tried to recommend more than a few artists to people like where they go, I've heard this song and it just turned me off. That's pretty much how Selena was for me, man. It was like, I heard it on the radio a little bit and it was like, that doesn't work for me and just had no interest.
Like, should we get started? Cause
we're already started.
Okay, good.
Dude, this is why you need, politely, and this is not a fight, you need to shut the fuck up when I hit record.
My bad. Wait. Hold on. Let me help Sean out. All right. So
I got two hands for you, motherfucker.
Fucking, this is Bouncing Brains in case you don't know where the fuck you're at.
Fuck them. They know what the fuck it is. No. Don't you fucking handhold these people. You're here. Shut the fuck up. Don't you fucking hit pause. Just fuck down.
Yeah,
but I was going to say throw this out there, man. Like it's not just the language divide because I actually enjoy corridos. Like it just I don't know what it is.
That's what I was gonna add. That's where I was going, but I was trying to premise that question because I felt that if I just asked you that, you were just gonna kind of be lost and you weren't gonna give me the answer that I was looking for. So,
well, dude, you fucking you abstracted it too far with the all right. First of all, if you're going to ask somebody, say Spanish. Can you listen to vocals in Spanish language? Because when you say Spanish music, again, my mind goes to Spain. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Well, my bad. Yeah. It's 'cause,
yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. I was going to say some stupid shit, but not that I've never done that before, people, but I'm trying to be more civilized today. It's the honey in
my ass
in
may
the coffee.
Be in South McAllen, but my mind is in Spain.
Hey, I have a question for the beautiful people watching and shit. I'm drinking coffee, but I put honey in it. Put in the comments or some shit if y'all ever done that before, or if you prefer some other kind of natural sweetener that I don't know about, let me know. Because I'm trying to stay the fuck away from sugar. Just wanted to make that disclaimer. So, yeah, I was talking to a friend. And we were talking about the band that died in a plane crash.
Which one, man?
I believe it was Lynyrd Skynyrd.
A couple of them died in a plane crash.
Yeah. So there's that one song that they wrote that they released like right before they died or some shit, like where they were actually talking about being on a plane or some shit like that, and like there was a whole theory about it. Because we were discussing that shit, and then we went into the impact of Spanish music, like Spanish speaking vocal music, impact on English music and vice versa,
right.
And how there's very few people in the industry that have been able to transition to like multiple different genres and be successful. And by multiple, I mean like more than 3. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And it's funny that you mentioned.
I'm gonna jump in here real quick just because it's on my mind, and if I don't ask the question, I'll forget it. The Iglesias is it
Enrique? Yeah. What about?
All right, so Julio's the father, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, you do know shit.
My grandma listened to Julio Iglesias, man. That's actually how I got familiar with him, is because the albums were around the house, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, but like, there is that distinction. Like, all right. First of all, I think his dad's more of an artist, but that's
I agree, and that's because I've heard more of Enrique's music than his dad's. But his dad, I'm not ashamed to say it. His dad, you can tell that had more talent than the kid. You know, I mean,
I don't know if it's necessarily
he made it work.
I don't know if it was necessarily more talent, man, because
it's talent, but you can tell with the dad,
it's shit's more focused.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like, he's not trying to dance. He's not trying to. Yeah. He's there. He's playing. He's singing. Man. It's a little more concentrated. Like, he found what he does and he did it. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to I don't know, man, just trying to be like everything. You know what I mean? That's a little bit too much, man.
Which, again, speaking of trying to be everything and everything, that's what I was gonna say. There's very few artists that have been able to like transcend and do different genres like that. We even have a famous comedian that transitioned from comedy to recording an album. I don't know how the fuck successful the album was, but I think it was D-Ray Davis recorded an EP. Dude, the song, I'm gonna be honest with you. By the way, I think the song already went platinum. The single went platinum, and he recorded 2 songs with Snoop. Snoop was gracefully enough to lend
D-Ray Davis.
Yeah, was it? Okay, yeah, D-Ray. Yeah,
I was just gonna say, man. I heard...
No, not D-Ray Davis.
What?
I confused the black folks.
You trying to get us deplatformed?
Not D-Ray Davis. Lil Duval. Lil Duval was him. Lil Duval was the one that recorded the album. I don't remember what it's called, but he recorded an album. And for him being a comedian and not being a music recording artist, I'll be honest with you,
it's not bad.
It's not bad. I'm not gonna say he did it all the justice, but it is not trashy. It is not half-assed. It's like, and he said, I got a vocal coach. He got people to, he's like, I don't want to do this shit. And then they asked him, but Duval, why'd you do it? And he said, because I was bored. So, but see, he made money. He actually made like a lot of money for it being his first album. He made a lot of like.
A lot of people don't remember that Eddie Murphy's album didn't lose money. By the way, what I was trying to bring up was
Jackie Chan.
You ever heard the story about the dedication on the end of that Eddie Murphy album?
Nah.
I'm trying to remember who the fuck it was, man. But basically, the whole thing was somebody bet him like a ridiculous amount of money. It was like, motherfucker, you couldn't record an album. So like the dedication on the album was, fuck you, I told you I would. And I remember that bet, motherfucker. I'm paraphrasing, but
yeah.
I think there are some motherfuckers that are out there just doing shit because they want to know if they can.
Yeah. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that do do that. I know, but they're not successful at it. You know, they fail like miserably. But perfect example, Manny Pacquiao, stick to boxing.
Okay, here's the thing, man. I do not know enough Filipinos to like ask the question, like go like, dude, what the fuck is up with the karaoke, man? But like that, there's something
it's fun, bro. To them, it's fun.
I want to say maybe once I've had a chance to like come across, like I've never gone and looked it up, man, but like actual like traditional, was it Tagalog or whatever the language is, the music, like I don't know how that singing sounds. Like I haven't heard enough of it.
I've heard it, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you and say I understand it and I can make it justice to say, you know what, this is good, this is not good.
Right.
But I've heard it. But I mean, you know, that many.
Okay, let me put it this way. To take it back a little bit, man. I think one of the reasons I can enjoy, like just on a like background intrinsic level, it vibes with me, the corridos, is the vocals, man. Because I grew up on a shitload of old school country.
That's why I'm asking you. So then there has to be, then you do understand the lyrics.
Not always, man. Not always.
Then I don't see I'm not making the connection. Because I feel in order for you to make that statement of like you saying that you enjoy the corridos and everything, because of like the way basically you're saying because of the way it makes you feel.
Yeah, it's just the sound.
The sound. But I feel that because on some of the sounds, bro, I'll be honest with you, and I'm telling you as a Mexican, some of the sounds are horrible.
Okay, so but here's the thing. How often have you ever listened to like old school Hank Williams? I'm talking senior. Oh
no. Not often.
Okay, when they go I can't even do that shit properly. My shit does not go that high. But you know what I'm talking about. There's a word for the oscillation of the back of the vocals, the nasal sound, like shit like that. Yeah. Like you get a lot of that, like in the corridos and especially like the northeastern style, man. Like
I see what you're saying.
I've tried to listen to like some of the traditional shit out of like southern northern Baja California and like the Sonora type of stuff. Yeah. It doesn't work for me. Like it's something a little bit different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when a Californian comes over and goes, "This is a burrito," and you go, "No, it's not."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I've actually had that conversation with somebody in California. They were like, "This is a burrito." I was like, "No, bro, that's not a burrito." Anyway, but what I was gonna say, another great example is, and a shitload of people disagree with me when I say this, but when Snoop recorded that reggae album, I'm gonna tell you, bro. Till this day, that album was recorded, I believe, 7 years ago now, 8 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 2013, something like that.
To this day, I still enjoy that album. Like, but I enjoy, and that's one of those projects. Remember what we were talking about? Projects that you enjoy from beginning to end without skipping a track.
Right.
That's one. Now, Snoop, we both know, is not a reggae album. A reggae artist,
right?
But I feel that with that album, he did it more than justice. Now, I wouldn't listen to Snoop over Bob Marley or over Peter Tosh, or you know what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't do that, but he actually did it like a great. I feel it was a great body of work. But we go back to what you were saying earlier. It was just a little bit too poppy for me. I felt like he should have stuck more to like the reggae because he had everything.
You know what? I immediately kind of set me off from that.
Have you heard it?
I have never listened to the whole thing. I've heard snippets of tracks here and
Oh,
there.
you should listen to it.
The part, I think, just because where my head at was musically at that point, like because I'd already gone through the reggae phase, like a couple years before that. You know what I mean? Like I'd already, I had the albums, the Peter Tosh, the fucking fuck. Now all the names are escaping me, man. But yeah, just all the
Wailers, bro.
Yes, Yeah, okay. There's the other band too, man, that is fucking escaping me. That does that badass version of Country Roads.
Please don't say Sublime.
No. But actually,
I have nothing against Sublime.
What I was gonna say though, man, is I do find there's music that I listen to that it doesn't. The Police.
Oh, okay.
They kind of came from that ska. English root, right? So like you can hear it. Like if nobody told you, like if you weren't really like paying attention, you might just be like, okay, cool. This is like some 80s kind of synth type of shit. But then when you actually when you listen to it, man, like the upstroke on the guitar, like the way the vocal compositions are put together, you go, oh shit, I see all your influences now.
Yeah.
Like, this makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's where maybe Snoop may have gone wrong, is that he was trying to be he was trying to do reggae. You know what I mean? Instead of doing what he was already doing and just like letting influences.
But that was the point though. He did that because I seen the documentary.
Yeah.
In the documentary, he says that was his intention. His intention from the get-go was to he wanted to make a legitimate reggae album, right? And
but why?
Because, well, I mean, he goes into a whole story about that. And it was one of those things also as well that he wanted to see if he could do it. It was one of those things too. Just like when he did the gospel album. Now, keep in mind.
That one flew completely under my radar.
These, it's crazy. You know, those albums did hit number one. He got number ones with those albums. But I mean, I'm not saying anything against him. But I do feel that those albums went number one solely on his name. Not because of like now, the rap albums that went number one, they went because Snoop has classics under his belt. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, he also has a couple albums that around that time, man, 2010 or so. I'm trying to remember the double album. At least I think that was one of his.
Gangsta and Rhythm. That was one of the double albums.
That may have been one, man. There were a lot of tracks on there that should have been a single fucking pressing.
Well, because that one, the story behind that album was that he was trying to leave the label, and he couldn't leave the label.
Just wanted to dump all the tracks at once. Okay, all right.
He was trying to leave the label. He couldn't leave the label because he was still contractually, obligated to release, one more album or whatever.
Was that when No Limit?
Oh no, bro, that's way after.
Okay,
he had a dispute that wasn't so public with the label that he was with. No, that was way after No Limit. Now I believe Snoop is completely independent at this point,
as he should be, man.
That's what I was gonna say. Again, going back to the bigger conversation, when you reach that level of artistry, I don't even want to call him a superstar because he is, but that's just popularity. But when you reach that level of artistry, like that Michael Jackson, that Madonna, that Beatles and shit, like you can do that. Like Snoop, perfect example. Snoop is one of the few artists that can do that. What you say, I feel that he can do anything that he wants, and he will be success. He just did a fucking commercial, bro. Have you seen the commercial for Corona? You know how Corona has that famous commercial where they have the two beers on the cooler on the beach. Same fucking commercial, but they put Snoop on a beach chair holding the Coronas. But again, and there's nothing wrong with it. Because I feel that he worked hard enough to build his brand and his name to where he's at. So he's using his name to make money. I have nothing against that. I'm just saying when you reach that level of artistry, why work for somebody else if you can work for yourself when everything with everything that belongs to you? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like Snoop doesn't, and I'm not trying to speak cocky for him, but Snoop is one of the few artists where he literally does not need anybody. Snoop just needs Snoop. You know what I'm saying? And he's and there's on the contrast of it, there's a lot of artists that been doing this shit for 20 years, 30 years, or even as long as he has, and they still can't do that. They still need that so-called cosign. They still need a team. I mean, Snoop has a team, but I'm sure he does, but he doesn't need them. Like, I feel that Snoop's team needs Snoop more than he needs them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm pretty sure they enhance him, but
to be honest, man, I think he's one of those guys that benefited greatly from the time that he got into the business. Because if you remember, man, when he first started showing up on like the label, or started showing up on the records under like Death Row, that was when a lot of motherfuckers were pretty much fighting back against their labels. You know what I mean? You had fucking, Ice Cube initially with that whole thing, splitting off from NWA and then having the fight with his managers and all that shit. And then you had like guys that were just essentially going, fuck you, why don't I keep the money? You know what I mean? And that was the environment that he came into it. So like almost from the start, man, he managed to not get fucked out of a lot of money.
Yeah.
Just because he was already
there was that one incident that you brought up earlier with Death Row and No Limit. And
that turned dirty though. Like that didn't start off like when he first started coming in. My understanding at least was when he first started coming in and recording with him and they put him, on contracts, it was not as abusive's not the right word. Manipulative's not the right word. What am I looking for here? Parasitical. Like at some point Death Row became like I still don't understand
honestly,
that. They were already making legitimate money, like through selling albums, and then they started trying to fuck over the artists, which makes no fucking sense to me.
Yeah. But it's because, again, I don't know the man personally, and I get it. He's in prison and all that. But from stories...
Shit, is he still alive?
Yeah, he's got diabetes, and he keeps passing out, but he's still alive.
The vapors.
So, but every time they add 5 years to his sentence, he passes the fuck out. So, anyway, the problem there was that honestly, again, I don't know personally. I was never there personally, but from numerous documentaries that have gone public since, they all say the same thing: that Death Row Records was your modern day legalized mob. They worked, moved, and functioned like the Irish mob or whatever, So Suge, and they say that Suge even he handled himself. There's numerous stories, bro. There's a real famous story that Vanilla Ice tells that Suge walked in to a record executive's house. Like this dude just pulled up to his house with a shotgun, and he said, I'm gonna have that artist, and you're not gonna do anything about it, and walk the fuck out.
That really is one, and this may be my misunderstanding on human nature, because let's be honest, you've met me, I'm a little bit broken in some places. I don't understand how you don't kill that motherfucker dead. Like, how do you let him go so long that he ends up running, like, just in public, like he thought he was going to get away with it. He runs a motherfucker over it was a music video shoot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How do you not shoot that motherfucker years ago? Like, how does somebody just not look at him and go, that's a mad dog. You should put that motherfucker down.
I understand that. I understand what you're saying, but let me ask you this question. Why didn't anybody ever kill Henry Hill?
Because he made him money.
No. But you listen to what you said earlier, and now compare what Henry Hill did. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but here's the thing, and they make that distinction. All right, let me put it this way. I think Henry Hill doth protest too much. Like, if you go back and read like the statements he actually made, but they at least pretended to have that, we don't fuck with civilians type of shit.
Another fucking thing that pisses me off about the whole Henry Hill.
That's the part I don't understand with Suge Knight is he fucked with civilians way too fucking often. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. Well, the connection I'm trying to make so you can understand is that Suge at one point was feared by the LAPD. Police officers feared him. The reason being is because, again, I don't know the guy. I've never met him, never talked to him. I wasn't there.
Right.
I'm telling you this shit from documentaries and shit that I've read.
Yeah, we've all read the same shit.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So like, they say that he was very well connected. Like Suge knew real hitmen, real killers, real people. Like, you know. So in other words, when they talk about somebody paying for protection, like Suge had that kind of, you know, protection.
Okay.
So that's why
Look,
nobody at one point, that to answer your question directly, that's the reason why at one point nobody wanted to touch Suge, fuck with Suge, piss him off, because of the connections that they knew that they when just think about it, dude. When you have a police department that is afraid of you, you're a different animal.
Oh, you do have to remember that back in the 90s, man, the police department was basically operating, the LA police department was basically operating as an arm of various mafias. I mean, they were in it to the Armenians, the Russians, the North Mexican, you know, cartels and shit like that. Now, you can argue whether or not that whole, the federal investigation and them having to restructure the department and all that, whether that had any fucking effect, you know, might just still be the same motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, and don't get me wrong. On an organizational level, I completely understand how a motherfucker like that keeps breathing. Because on an organizational level, he was making people money. He was providing.
So why are you saying that you don't understand why he keeps breathing?
I don't understand why one person doesn't, like, all right, you show up at my house with a shotgun and make demands. I go, oh, okay. And then as you're walking back to your car, I'm unloading. I don't give a. I don't understand that.
Do you know?
Now, granted, I'm not a record executive. I don't have that temperament.
If you were to do that, you know the shit storm that you would have started, that would have come towards you at the time. That's what I'm trying to point out. That Suge at one point
but he
had that power. No, because okay,
I think that's where I split with a lot of people, man.
I'll give you another example. See if you understand it this way. John Gotti, known to many as one of the sloppiest gangsters in history. He was just sloppy to do business.
Right.
Nobody ever killed him. You know why?
Because he kept killing people first.
That's one thing. Second thing is, same thing with John Gotti. John Gotti was still, well, first of all, he was very manipulative. Just like Henry Hill was.
I would argue that Suge Knight was probably a much more
he was also very manipulative. He knew how to manipulate people to the T.
Up until, and this is again, going back to the death row thing, this is the part I don't fucking understand. Death row was making money. Death row was making everybody that was involved money.
Yeah.
And then they got greedy. Now, whether that's just Knight or whether that was other people involved with that.
They say it was him.
Yeah, and they say it was him, but we weren't there. Yeah. I'm just saying, there were other people that were putting money into that studio. Like that's the only thing that kind of makes sense to me, is like, okay, maybe somebody tried to pull, is like, hey man, I need that money back. And then that just kind of domino affected the whole thing. But I'm saying Gotti at the end, like not even at the end, by the point where he took over the business, like he became the top motherfucker. He wasn't earning anybody money. All he was doing was stealing from other crooks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, it makes even less sense that you let that motherfucker live.
But you...
Except for the fact that, again, he killed every single... Anybody that looked at him cross-eyed.
Yeah.
Whereas Knight didn't do that. Like, that's the only thing that doesn't make sense to me.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Aside from that instance of him walking in with a shotgun...
Well, that's not the only time he threatened record executives.
That's what I was going to say. There's other stories where he actually went and beat the shit out of people, like damn near to a pulp, to get what he wanted. So, no, I agree with you. He didn't kill anybody physically, but he got close to it. And I think it was his sense of intimidation that got him that fear from people. Because there's a lot of people that, like you said, well, I mean, if you walk around if you walk around doing that, sooner or later, somebody's going to take you out. That's true. But on the same token, man, you got to remember. Well,
strangely enough, not always, man. Like I think that's the part that confuses the shit out of me about, I think the way most people operate, man. Like most people, if they were in the woods and they saw a wolf, they'd be like, oh shit, I got to run away from the wolf.
I just ran into a coyote and I nearly shitted my pants.
All right, first of all, a single coyote. Well, don't limp around a coyote.
Exactly. You said the keyword limp. Exactly. I didn't get off my car.
He doesn't think you're a pimp. He thinks you're lunch.
And the dude was like, "Oh, it's okay, man." Just the owner of the house. He was like, I was like literally like 7 feet away from the gate. He was like, "Oh, it's okay, man. Leave it on the other side of the gate." I was like, no. I told him there is a dog in front, and this is as per policy. We can't leave the vehicle if there's a loose animal. And he told me, he was like, oh, that's not a dog. That's a coyote. Even more so, sir, I am not getting off the car.
Yeah.
But anyway, you were saying...
There are countless fucking... And you can see it on small scale, man. Like, think about the kind of shit that people put up with in business, man. Like, it's almost like if you're not... If you can function at least halfway within like the structure, you know what I mean? Like you can be a crazy asshole and just be a complete piece of shit running around fucking people over. But if you at least fit somehow into the societal box, you know what I mean? Again, you're making people money, you're performing certain functions, whatever it is. It's like people think they can just ignore you. I don't know if that makes sense quite, man.
Yeah. No, it does make sense, but I go back to my original argument using what you said as well. When you make people money is very powerful. So this is basically what I'm saying. Sometimes in business, you could be the shittiest person as a person, as your character.
Yeah.
But if you make these people money, these people don't give a shit. And Suge Knight, that's exactly what he did. He was making millions upon millions, not only for himself, but for other people. So, and they knew. You're not going to tell me they didn't know the piece of shit that he was. Right. But they didn't care. You know what? Because I figured that they thought if we go against them, first of all, we're more than likely going to lose. But even if we lose and we go against them, we're going to lose him. And if we lose him, we're going to lose a shitload of money.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I get why he didn't get hit like sideways, like a colleague, if you will. I'm just saying, man, like a random motherfucker. Like he was being reckless enough.
This is what I was going to tell you to kind of like cap the point so you can understand. Because you're saying you don't know how anybody ever touched him. There is also a story that was told, I believe, by Bun B. I don't remember if it was Bun B or Pimp C. He said that Suge Knight, this was back in the early 90s, late 80s, 89, 91, whatever. Mm-hmm. Suge Knight went to Texas, to Houston, being Suge Knight.
Yeah.
And Jay Prince checked him.
I haven't heard the whole story, but I have.
Yeah. Jay Prince checked him, basically. And Jay Prince told him to his face that he couldn't come in here and do that shit. And Jay Prince told him, if you ever come in here like that, it'll be the last time. And as the story goes, from that point forward, Suge never went back into Houston doing whatever it was that he was doing. And the point of that story was that, but I don't remember, like I said, if it was Bumpy or Pimp C that was saying it, they had never seen anybody else check Suge Knight like Jay Prince. But it's funny how I've never seen the interview, but I've heard that Jay Prince has been questioned about that situation before.
Yeah.
And he refuses to go into details about it. He just...
Okay, Jay Prince is a weird dude, man. Like...
He's not...
he's one of those guys that tells you a story and you go, I know you left half of that out.
Yeah. That, yes. But what I was going to say was... what a lot of people don't know, man, and that's because Jay Prince is also really under the radar and out of the limelight. But a lot of people don't know that Jay Prince, man, like Jay Prince is you know how all these dumbass rappers today on their records talk about being a gangster and having guns and shooting people and killing people, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay. That shit that you hear on record, well, Jay Prince really did do that. And from my understanding today, I don't want to speak too much because, like I said, I don't know. But I've heard that he still does that. But he doesn't. In other words, what I'm saying is...
He was smart enough to put at least a remove between him and any...
Now, Jay Prince is... What I'm trying to say is... all that gangster shit that you hear people say about like a gangster, Jay Prince was and is a real gangster. Like this dude was a real go get it type of gangster type of dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
there were a lot of those guys that came out of the Houston scene that were only like one step removed from a whole bunch of dirty business.
You know who also was a real gangster. And unfortunately to say, like an actual real killer, and people slept on him, was Mac Dre, bro. Mac Dre was a gangster way before he was a rapper. Like, and again, that they say that's why he was killed. He was killed over unfinished business or some shit like that. But Mac Dre was really out in the street, you know, getting it. And like the music was the side hustle, but his life was the real shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be honest. I mean, he was an okay rapper, but he wasn't, to me, like lyrically, he wasn't. He was good. He was okay, but he wasn't like I never considered him like a great rapper or a good rapper. But I mean, he did enough to get it, to do it.
Right.
But he was another one of those dudes that they say, I don't know, but they say that the only reason that he got a major contract with a major label was because, I mean, I don't know how true it is, but he supposedly held the label exec at gunpoint, basically. And he was like, you gonna give me a contract, basically. And then he figured out that he could make more money doing the gangster shit, so he was like, fuck, so he just continued doing, and then we all know how that story ended. Yeah. But
well, I was just thinking, man, like, I mean, we've just been sitting here kind of like, you know, throwing back and forth the mythology of Suge Knight, and then you think about the fact that like that motherfucker got shot on accident because somebody was pissed off at Tupac.
Yeah,
that's
allegedly.
No, let's be real, man. Suge had him hit. Motherfucker, he was sitting next to him, took a bullet in the fucking arm. What the fuck you mean he had him hit? Nobody's that crazy. It's like, I want you to shoot at me while I'm in the fucking car. Get the fuck out of here. But I'm just saying, like...
Allegedly.
Everybody's dead, man. The shooter's dead. Tupac's dead. Let's be honest. Suge gonna be dead soon, too.
If he keeps passing out, I mean, shit.
Who the fuck is 1-800 bullshit?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if he keeps passing out, I don't know how they're saying. Well, I mean, I don't know how true his lawyers are being, but they're saying the lawyers are saying that he, like right now as we speak, and I just read this article like 3 weeks ago or whatever, but they're saying that he's like in pretty bad shape. That if he doesn't have the proper medical attention for his diabetes, that he can. But then I don't know how true that is, like the situation, because right after that, in the same article, the basically the lawyer said, and if that happens, they're threatening to sue. So basically, they're saying if he dies in custody, they're gonna sue because he was never giving the proper attention or whatever. And I mean, I get it. Look, dude, like I can't be judgmental. There's a lot of things that I disagree with how he lived and what he did to other artists. And yeah, maybe he was a piece of shit. I'm not saying that he wasn't, but at the end of the day, man, yeah, you can call me a bitch or whatever, but at the end of the day, he's still a human being, you know, and he should be allowed to live. I'm not saying get him out of jail. I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying?
You're right. He's a human being. They're fairly easy to kill.
That's not what the fuck I was saying.
I'm saying we're coming at this from two separate angles. Actually, the story I was trying to remember right now, man, is damn it, and I don't know why his name always escapes me, man.
Pablo Escobar.
No.
He was also killed for no reason. But
no reason. No reason.
If y'all ain't watching this, y'all should have seen Sean's expression real quick. Because you know what? You almost said yes where you were going to.
No.
And then you're like, wait, no reason? Come on, dude. He had a zoo where he took kids into the zoo. Uh-huh. You going to tell me that somebody
He also took motherfuckers in restraints and fed them to tigers, but we ain't going to talk about that.
He had a zoo.
Let's be honest.
He took little kids into that zoo. You gonna tell me that somebody that has a zoo and takes little kids is gonna do all that bad shit?
Andrew Carnegie would like a word with you, sir. It was a musical artist. I was trying to remember the name. Sam Cooke.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you know the whole story behind Sam Cooke, right? Or at least the public story.
Yeah, the murder and everything.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So what's
if you look into some of that shit, man, it's again.
Oh, that was Marvin Gaye. Fuck.
No. Marvin Gaye was killed by his dad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sam Cooke is the one that got.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I confused black folks again. All right. Shit. I'm sorry.
I'll be honest. I'm much more of a Sam Cooke guy than a Marvin Gaye. I like Gaye. Don't get me wrong. He's good. He's great.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I can see why you Sam Cooke.
Yeah, man.
Also, you know who the other one? I know we don't have to go into it, but just want to throw it out there. You know the other one that people sleep on, Billie Holiday. I can, you know, I
feel you.
I like. Anyway, but Sam Cooke.
Well, Sam Cooke is one of those guys that if you look at the trajectory that he was going in as far as the music business, as far as his own kind of the way he was structuring his own personal shit, man. Well, think about it this way. You mentioned Jay Prince earlier, man. Now, granted, not in the same vein, man. Nobody ever accused Cooke of being a gangster. He just had to play with him occasionally. The fact that a guy like Jay Prince is still alive, not only alive, but still thriving. You know what I'm saying?
Well, because he became a legitimate businessman.
Fair enough. But there are a lot of motherfuckers.
And Suge never did. But
No, but fuck Suge Knight. I'm talking about guys like Jermaine Dupri or fucking, what's the motherfucker that owns the magazine up in New York? Anyway, it doesn't matter, man.
Okay.
Point is, you have a lot of these guys that okay, whereas with Jay Prince, like he doesn't try to put on the gangster persona. It's just he walks in and you go, is that motherfucker a gangster? And then you go, oh no, he's a music executive. And you go, yeah. Okay. Whereas a lot of these other guys were out there and Dupree's just one of the more egregious examples, but like the guys that went out there and wanted to be gangsters. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Regardless.
But you can spot those right off the bat.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of those guys legitimately were in the life. We're doing dirty shit. But like they wanted to like almost cloak themselves in that and then try to become businessmen and they couldn't make that split. You know what I'm saying? And I think with a guy like and there's other examples, but I'm using Cooke specifically because he got done real fucking dirty, man. Like a lot of the guys that he ended up working with, like he didn't even own his own label at the end.
Yeah.
Which the whole thing was, he was trying to set up his own fucking label and bring, artists in and all that shit. By the end of it, he wasn't even on the board of directors. Yeah. Like he got fucked over real fucking proper. But he's one of those guys that could have been long term. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and moved. I mean, you still would have heard the stories like, oh, dude, he set up his, with money from these motherfuckers and that shit. But he still would have been there.
Yeah.
And it's almost fucking amazing that, how to put it, man. All right, if you're a thief, right, and you know that you can rob Billy on every Tuesday. Billy's always got money on Tuesday. As long as you don't steal more than $400, Billy's going to be all right. But for some reason, you get it in your goddamn head, let's hit up Billy for $600. Well, now Billy ain't got no damn money. Billy ain't got a job. Billy winds up on the street and broke. But you still keep trying to rob Billy. At what point do you just go, oh, I fucked up? You know what I'm saying?
What is the greed? Go back to the same thing.
I know it's the greed, but how do you not have... Like, look, people who are effectively greedy, like a genuine, someone who knows how to steal big, there's intelligence there. Yeah. There's not... You don't get stupid and successful, in that type of scenario. You know what I'm saying? There has to be at least an innate understanding of the flow of goods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And repeatedly, just like clockwork, man, the gift horse always gets shot in the mouth.
Yeah.
Doesn't even get looked in the mouth. Gets shot in the fucking mouth. Like it's not... I don't know, man. I'm mixing a lot of metaphors here, mainly because, look, we're talking about music and all this shit, man. But look at what's going on with, say, I know you said you haven't been following the politics at all for a while now, right?
I haven't watched TV and I haven't listened to...
Good. You probably sleep a little bit better at night.
I actually... I mean, I don't want to go into it, but I was going to say, I've been off social media for... I want to say now it's been about a year that I've been completely off. And I mean like completely off, like app is not even installed on my phone. The Messenger app, the Facebook app is not. The only one that I still have is Instagram. And Instagram I decided to keep because...
Titty pics? Yeah, I know.
Nah, not really. But because it's not as bad. Honestly, Instagram is not as bad yet. The moment I start feeling that it was like what Facebook turned into, I'll probably get rid of it too. So my point being is what you're saying. And I know people are going to say that I'm exaggerating or whatever, but ever since I've been on social media, two things happen. Number one, I've been able to sleep better, literally. And number two, three things. Two, I've been less stressed. And three, I've been way more productive. I'm not saying that I'm like up there in productivity, but I'm way more productive. Do you know how many hours? And I'm not even exaggerating when I say hours. You know how many hours in a day I spend doing this? It was literally hours when I would wake up, bro. And the first thing I would do was grab the phone.
Check your notifications and all that.
Check notifications and shit like that. Right? Now, it's a double-edged sword. Because now, there's people that I need to reach out to. Yeah. And there's people that have reached out to me that the only communication that we have is through Messenger, and we're not communicating. And then I need to do something. Like I don't mind telling you. Like I need to, for example, if I'm trying to book a show out of town, it's like, oh fuck, I need to reach out to this person, but I don't really have their number. But I need to reach out to them through Messenger. And sometimes I don't, and sometimes I haven't because I don't want to. Now, I'm not scared of it. I'm not afraid of it. It's just my life has been different since I've been away from like social media. And when I started to realize the amount of time that I lost and that I was losing, it was I'm not fucking with you. It was literally hours that I lost in a day just like doing that.
You know, the part that pisses me off is not necessarily like, don't get me wrong. I've done the same thing, man. Like, just like, fuck it. I'm bored. I'm just scrolling through. I'm just trying to fill the brain with some sort of content. But more often,
it's an addiction, bro.
Okay, there's that, but there's also the fact that, like you said, there is legitimate information. Like, a lot of times when I'm logging into something like Facebook or even Twitter or something, I'm genuinely trying to check up on, what's going on here, who's doing this, what's actually happening. And like, I want to say I jumped onto Facebook in probably like 2013. And at that point, you still had like an actual timeline. You know what I mean? It wasn't just the news feed. It was like a timeline you go to and go, okay, this was posted then, this was posted then, blah, 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 blah. And you didn't have this shit where like all of a sudden you're seeing something from like 5 days ago and you're like, fuck, if I'd have seen this 5 days ago, I'd have probably, responded to this.
I logged in on New Year's or whatever to Facebook for the first time. Bro, I looked at it when it loaded and I was confused.
Right.
It's changed so much. There's buttons everywhere. And I was like, what the fuck what happened? That's how long it's been that I haven't like fucked with it or whatever. And I was going to ask you a question. Because I wanted to put this into perspective. You've been in rehab, right?
No.
No? Okay. Well.
Rehab's for quitters.
All right. Well, we've all done drugs and shit. That's what I was getting at. But when you go to rehab, because I've been to rehab because I didn't want to go to prison. But so the system works if you can work it. Hi, my name is Freddy Garcia, and I'm an addict. It's either that or you're gonna be bending over and then they're gonna be telling you to spread your cheeks and cough twice.
Negative incentivization is a poor mechanism for growth, but it occasionally works.
So anyway, so I've been to rehab, right? You know what I noticed? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and whatever the fuck is out there since I haven't been on. People that have that, they're called... What are they called? Users. Who else fucking calls their people users? Sir, so you did cocaine? Yes. How long were you a user? And I was like, yeah, and then that's when it hit. I was like, this is an addiction, yo.
Yeah.
I was like, I was telling myself in my head, I was like, this is an addiction. Like I was an addict. I know how this fucking works. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to say that that's what completely got me away from it. The honest truth, the thing that got me away from social media was the fucking annoyance of stupid people. I just saw so many stupid posts that I was like, I'm done with this shit. Like, it's retarded. As soon as it became retarded, like I was like, you know what, I'm out. And then it became that because I noticed that every 3 minutes it was like notification. And you go just to check a notification, and what happens? from one notification, bro. So again, I lead back.
I was gonna say though, man, it is very similar to like.
So what I want to say, people, real quick is if you're a user and you're addicted to that shit, that's fine. I'm not talking shit. You want to continue do it. But don't get mad at me when I'm still using cocaine.
I was gonna say, man,
I don't use cocaine. That was a joke.
The communication I would have with dealers occasionally. That's not a dealer. That's That's somebody went and talked to me about car insurance. But like, okay, I'd stop calling them because, trying to get my shit together. And I'd get like every couple of weeks.
They never called you?
This is what I'm saying. For the first week and every couple of weeks, I'd get like, hey man, what's up? Hey, I got some new shit, blah, 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 all this. And then it would fade off. And then like 6 months later, I'd hit them up for something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey man, this, that, the other, whatever. And then same thing for like the next couple of weeks. Hey man, got some new stuff, blah, 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 blah. Facebook is the same fucking thing. Like it'll be like, hey, did you forget to log in? Just want to make sure. And then it'll go silent. And then you go to check your fucking notifications one day. And all of a sudden they're like, hey, did you know Fuckface said some dumb shit about this? And you're like, I will ask you a question when I want you to talk to me, motherfucker.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, let me tell you how dirty fucking Facebook is. So I don't have the app. So there's no way. Well, I take that back. There's a way, which is what I'm going to explain. But technically, if you remove the app, you would think there's no way that you can know if you received the notification. So now what Facebook does, when you do receive a notification, those dirty motherfuckers, they send you an email.
I opted out of that shit immediately. Fucking Twitter was doing that shit to me on a regular basis, and I spent about an hour digging through all the settings just to make sure that shit didn't. Oh, I know what it was. A comic who remained unnamed. I was talking to him at an open mic, and I was like, "Hey, man, been getting all those notifications for them cam hoes you've been looking at." And he's like, "Huh? What?" And I was like, "Every time you like one of those pictures, it shows up on my phone." It's like, oh shit. And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, go change your settings, man."
That's funny.
You know me wrong. I found a whole bunch of new cam hoes through but I wasn't
That's
looking.
not the point.
I wasn't looking for them, but I found them.
Yeah, man. But anyway,
we're at the first hour right now, man. So we're gonna come back and we'll have
we'll come back with users and shit
and abusers.
There, what I'm saying is. Bro, you don't think I'm hurt too? Like not making money from shows that I used to do out of town? I have some shows, but on the same token, I have some shows lined up that, to be really honest with you, I have a show I think next week that I have to do in Alice, I think. And I'm still not even sure, dude. That I want to do it. There is a part of me that I'm still questioning. Should I do it? You know what I'm saying?
Gonna get the vaccine then?
No.
Okay.
I used to make it was a running joke. I mean, it's not even a joke that I'm gonna use on stage. Right? A running joke that I said, I'm gonna wait till you motherfuckers get in, and if y'all don't fucking turn into zombies, yeah, maybe. But I'm not like I'm to jump and get in line like these motherfuckers are doing it to, like, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm not. I'm gonna. Now, this is the trick question. If I get COVID, will I accept the vaccine, even though they don't even know yet? If the people that already have it, like if you're experiencing the incubation period, they still don't know if getting the vaccine.
Yeah.
Fixes.
I have seen at least a couple of statements that indicate that it won't fix it. Like it's not going to heal you magically, but what it will do is limit
speed of the process.
No, it might limit the severity of your
or it might worsen
your reaction.
They don't know. I did read an article that said that there is a slight chance that it may worsen. They don't know yet. And that's what I don't want to take a chance on.
Well, now, here's the thing, man. I'm seeing these numbers come out from the administration saying they want to vaccinate 80% of the population. And it's like, dude, only 40% take the fucking flu vaccine. Yeah. So what fantasy are you fucking living in?
That's what I'm telling you. This goes, well, I'll get into that right now to answer that point. But what I was going to say was, this is why I'm still upset, people, and I'm going to repeat it till I'm blue in the face. I'm still pissed off at the fact that nobody's really telling us as a nation, as a people, take your fucking vitamins. There has already been proven facts that vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin E have shown signs that they will fight the fucking virus. Like there's already studies like to prove enough that that does happen. I've been telling y'all from the beginning of this, even if when they weren't telling us.
Okay, this goes to like the.
By the way, we're back. In case you didn't notice.
Back again. Yeah,
but go ahead. Real quick on the vaccine shit that you said right now. So what I feel, and mark my words, I'm glad this is being recorded. What I feel is that they are gonna try to vaccinate everybody, right? Or as many people as they can. But of course, like everything else, they're gonna run into pushback of like, I'm not taking it, I'm not taking whatever. Well, okay. So hold on, because this is a point that I'm trying to make. What I feel that they're gonna end up doing if they run into enough pushback, because they're the government and they can do whatever the fuck they want at the end of the day, they're gonna make it mandatory to where you have to.
They're gonna do what they always do and pick a fucking fight.
Yeah. They're going to do it mandatory. And what I feel is they will take it to the extent where, and I hope this doesn't happen, but I do feel that they're going to take it to the extent, oh, okay, sir, you do not want to take the vaccine. It's fine, but we cannot provide you with employment, or we cannot provide you with services, or I know y'all think I'm crazy. I'm talking out of my ass. I'm crippled. Whatever.
Listen to the man.
But I strongly feel that that's where it's going.
I'd be lying if I said there wasn't at least a part of me that, I wish a motherfucker would. I don't. It's a bad thing. It would be a really, bad fucking. Look, well, let's be honest. The last year has been a fuck around all the way through.
What would you do? I know I'm taking it to a big extreme, but just think about it. Because, like I said, I don't think this would stop them. What would you do if they told you, if you went to the store, bro? And keep in mind, this is coming from the government, not the store. Mm-hmm. If you went to the store to buy food. Because you need to eat. You need to eat, right?
Right.
Okay. So you go to the store, you buy food, and they tell you, sir, we cannot sell you this food because you are not vaccinated. And this is not coming from the store. This is coming from your government. What would think about it, bro? You know the kind of shit that's going to start? Now, I understand y'all looking at me crazy right now and saying all kinds of shit like I'm retarded and this nation will never do anything like that to their beautiful people. Let me remind y'all, at one point, slavery was legal. I understand it's a different animal, but it's the same thing, kind
of. You don't even have to go that far. The government requires you to give part of your paycheck to them every year. Every year. Like,
but there's a reason
not
for
even
that,
leap years. No, is there, motherfucker? We've talked about this, man. There's the incentivization of like, look, man, if you are taking
I'm being sarcastic.
I'm saying the government and Suge Knight are the same motherfucker.
I've said that before too, bro. I've challenged people to tell me how the United States government is different from the mob. I've challenged people to tell me that, because think about it. When you don't do it, and I'm being very vague because I just want you to get the general point. When the mob tells you to do something and you don't do it, normally what do? They get you killed. But before they get you killed, they use process of intimidation. Right. They send Bobby down there. Bobby weighs 400 pounds, is 7 feet tall, and Bobby's going to beat the shit out of you. What does the United States have? They have police officers.
They give Bobby a uniform and a badge and still send his 400-pound ass down there.
Yes. So my question is...
And you know what the fucked up part is? Bobby probably gets better benefits working for the mob.
Exactly. And again, y'all can, at this point, I don't give a shit. Y'all can say whatever the fuck you want. Because the thing that I get the most, man, from people that tell me that are against what I'm saying is I get a lot that I'm anti-American. Well, it's because you're anti-American and you're not appreciative to what this country's done for you. First of all, they really haven't done shit for me. Other than left me alone to be alive and work and find my own way, they've done that. But as far as like, they've helped me to get a career, to get a car, to get a job, not really. Freddy and God did that on their own, but not the government had nothing to do with it. They gave me a check, gave me a disability check, and then they turned around and said, "Sir, wait a minute, you're not disabled. We need this back." Not only did they just take me, what kind of an asshole in their head figures out that you're not disabled, and not only do they take your check, but they have you pay it back. Sir, you're not disabled. That money we gave you, we need it back.
See, I think the government needs a fuck up clause. We're basically, all right.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say, and I agree with it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's like if you fuck up and miscalculate your tax payment, granted, the government can hit you with a fine, yada, yada, all that.
And but fraud and tax evasion and all that shit.
But if they fuck up and miscalculate your tax, then they're still going to hit you with a fucking fine.
But they don't fuck up, Sean. That's what you forget. The government doesn't.
They've got fuck up built into the system, but not in a preventative fashion. It's just like, it's almost punitive.
You're and I'm not saying what I'm about to say. I'm not saying it to be funny. I mean it. I just don't know what other way to say it. We're stuck in a system that you're not going to win. There's nothing that you can. And again, people will disagree with me till I'm blue in the face. But there is nothing that you can do to win. We're stuck. I don't know who it was. A very famous person said this. I can't remember who said it. But they said, we're stuck in a system that is designed for you to fail and remain in the wheel like a hamster.
That's one idea that's been put forward about this new round of stimulus checks is they lowered the did you know that now the fucking Republicans, what they want to do, they want to tax it? No, they've been taxing all of it. All of it's taxable. It's never been untaxable.
No, the first check
no, it wasn't, motherfucker. I'm telling you, you got to pay taxes on that shit.
That's not what I was told.
Somebody lied to you.
No, the article when they approved the $1,200, the first one, they said it was not. I remember because I called the. I remember now. I called the IRS and I specifically asked them, "Is this shit taxable?" And they said no. They said this is. I remember what they told me. They said this is not taxable. If you owe student loans, the check will still not be touched. It's non-taxed income. And they said, at this I remember vividly, they said the only way that your check will be touched is if you have back pay on child support. That's the only way that it'll get taken away or removed partially or whatever. But that's it. It wasn't going to be taxed or anything like that. The $600 one that they did or whatever.
Okay,
same
you're right.
thing.
I'm misquoting. It's
fucking shit. Don't scare me.
It's the.
I was like, I already spent that fucking money, Sean.
It's the unemployment that is taxable, which still fucking retarded. But either way, I don't give a shit. They ain't giving me a check either way.
The unemployment has always been taxable, so I don't know why that would bother people. Unemployment's always been taxed.
Yeah, I understand that. But if you're talking a situation in which the reason you're unemployed is because they made you unemployed.
Again, Sean, the government doesn't fuck up.
No. Well, we're not talking about like, look, man, we can sit here and point out the holes in the logic. What I'm saying is nobody's talking about how to fill the holes in logic.
Because they don't know. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Till this day, that's why I get pissed off. Like, who was the one? Oh, I was driving over here and I saw a sign that just pissed me the fuck off. The sign read word for word, and it was huge. You could see it from the road. It said, you know how they've been saying stop the spread of COVID and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. This sign didn't say that. This sign said, I don't want to butcher it because people are going to get the wrong idea. I can't remember word for word, but basically what the sign was implying was that you could cure COVID-19. They didn't say cure. They used another word. But basically, it's giving you the idea that the sign said you could cure COVID-19. And it pissed me off. The first thing that I said in my mind, bitch, and then what pissed me off more is that they made it to where you get the idea that at that clinic or whatever the fuck that was, basically they had the anecdote or whatever implying, right? So I passed by it and I was like, shut the fuck up. I'm never stopping at your clinic just for advertising that bullshit. Because in my head, I was like, you don't have the cure. You don't know the cure. If the CDC doesn't know it, bitch, you don't know it. So like, and that's the first sign that I've seen where they kind of implied that they had the cure for COVID-19. Like the other signs, the whole stop the spread and help. I respect that. That's fine. Because you can help to stop the spread or whatever. But implying that you have some kind of preventative cure or something, no, you don't. It's false advertisement. You should be sued until you end up in the street for being an asshole.
Well, that was the whole thing with the God damn it, quinine, hydroxychloroquine. The shit that basically Trump had touted and all that stuff. They were like, they kept saying like, it doesn't cure it. And it's like, no, it doesn't cure it. It helps treat some of the effects. Like there's this, well, it's like people thinking that the fucking,
but it's the same thing. It's like the
vaccine that we have right now is not technically a vaccine. It's not a what we think of as vaccines, which is usually they put a small segment of viral RNA in there and your body reacts to it. This is something completely fucking different. And the fact that we're not having that conversation while they're fucking sticking millions of people with this shit is a problem.
And that's what I'm telling you, bro. Like, that's what I'm telling you. And I get it. We're never going to know. I get it. But what you're saying, we don't even have an idea of what they're putting in that thing that they're putting in you. So that's why I'm saying, take the vaccine. No, fuck you. Thank you, but fuck you. No, I don't want that. That's what I was saying.
All right. Here's the thing. I would love to at least believe that somebody has best intentions in mind. You know what I mean? You want to believe that there's at least one goofy motherfucker out there with their rose-colored glasses on going, everything's going to be okay.
But I guarantee you that one goofy motherfucker is not going to know the real truth.
Probably.
See what I'm saying?
Okay, but all right, look at the way they're doing the distribution, man, where it's a first come, first serve basis, which is fucking retarded on the face of it. Like,
well, that's kind of logical because they don't have enough to supply.
Okay, so you triage. You go, okay, I can understand first come, first serve to get your name on the list, right? It's like if both of us, they go, hey, call in here, register for, the vaccination clinic. And both of us call in. It's like, okay, but you're a frontline essential worker and I'm furloughed at home. Okay, well then you obviously would need the vaccination more unless I had some sort of health. You know what I mean? There's going to be that laundry list of like, okay, immunocompromised, frontline, worker, fucking, teachers, doctors, all this shit, people who are going to be in situations where they're likely to be exposed to larger amounts of it. But you're not seeing that. What you're seeing instead is just kind of a, it's a buffet almost.
Yeah.
And it makes no fucking, like, it doesn't even make sense.
But you have to remember, and I'm not defending them necessarily, but I am trying really hard to think logically. You have to remember and not forget, as you're cycling through all this shit, they still, and I'm talking about medical professionals in the country, they still don't exactly know, like, even how to approach, because I mean, I'm young, I get it, but as far as I know from what I've read and what I've heard, there's never been something like this in the history of humans or whatever.
I'll follow you on that, man, but the problem is we're not even seeing comparative response to this. We're not even seeing people go, okay, this is what this is like, so let's try this. Like, it's almost as if as soon as this kicked off, we just threw the whole fucking playbook out the window and started from scratch. Like, at least that's the way it feels. Maybe
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So having to just kind of...
But then again, remember that supposedly, according to them, this virus is starting from scratch. According to them, there's never been a virus like this one.
Yeah.
There's been one similar... but according to them,
SARS is the closest we've come to this.
Yeah, but they even say it's never been one like on this scale. But I go back to what I said before. I like to. They're listening to us.
Fuck off, Google.
I like to point out the bigger picture of it. And this is where Crazy Freddy kicks in again. Caution, Crazy Freddy's coming out. I like to think that, like what's coming in the vaccine, man, I think that there's more to it. I think that they do want to vaccinate the mass population because there's something bigger. What I'm getting at is I wouldn't be surprised if it's not some type of mind controlling shit or something that hypers your senses, or you never know if there is a chip that they're putting in you so that they can know, you know what I'm saying? Because if you really want to be real with it, the government has been playing around, for lack of a better term. They've been playing around with mind-controlling substances since the 60s. You know what I'm saying? So what's not to say that from the 60s till now, they haven't perfected something.
And actually, the MK Ultra shit goes back to probably mid-50s. Because it had a lot to do with the programs that the Chinese and the Soviets were doing during the Cold War.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like that's the reason why. That's the reason why I feel and this vaccine, that's what it feels like. That's the, like, think about it. Like they've never, like the government has never been so eager to give you something of that nature. Have you sat back and thought of that? Look at the eagerness of
but this is what I'm saying.
Government.
This is where the disconnect jumps in for me, Matt, is on the face of it, yeah, there's a lot of, we want 80% of the population, all this shit. But on the actual forefront of it, where, the rubber meets the road and people are actually getting needles stuck in their arm, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're vaccinating a shitload of people, but they're doing it in the most haphazard and just...
Again, I'm not trying to defend them, but I think it's because they don't know how to... They still don't have a set structure on how to handle... Because again, how they said it themselves, they've never dealt with such a mass of shit that they have to. And then on top of all of that, again, according to them, their thing is it needs to be done quick because this is what they're telling us on the face of it, because this shit is spreading quick and we want to stop people from continuing to die. I'm not saying they're telling us the truth. Right. I'm telling you that that's what they're telling us. Right. Do I believe it? No, but that's what they're. I believe what I just told you. I believe that there's a bigger purpose for this, and there is a bigger detailed explanation to what I'm telling you. It's just that I'm sorry, we don't have 2 more hours. But
no, I follow what you're saying, man, and I think there is something to the idea that, all right, again, if you're taking it at like face value and you're and you're treating it as a good faith argument, it almost seems like, chicken running around with the head cut off. You don't know, you can't make an honest prediction of what the next move is going to be. I mean, you can make cynical predictions. Like, okay, everybody's like, Biden said it was going to be $2,000 checks as soon as he got in. And there were a lot of people that were like, yeah, that's bullshit. They're not going to do that. And they turn out to be true, but it's not true based on, you can't look at it and make a judgment call. It's almost like the only tool you have to sift through the bullshit at this point is cynicism, which is a fucking problem. Yeah. Because cynicism doesn't get you anywhere. It just keeps you from, you don't look foolish because you didn't make the foolish choice. Okay, fine. But you also didn't make the productive choice because you didn't do shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just questioned the value of everything. Yeah. Now so there may be something to the idea that, the machinations of whatever political entity is currently in charge right now wants us confused for some reason, which seems so fucking dangerous, man.
I mean, but Carlin's been telling that to us for years. Like the biggest fear to the American government is a critical thinking, logical human being.
Yeah, but okay, look, if we can't afford a shooting war at this point. We really can't.
But we don't have to have a shooting war. Like, to get
they
your
keep
point,
fucking with us. It's gonna happen.
No, what I'm saying is, okay, never mind. I was going somewhere else.
I'm saying it with the chaos that is currently just inherent in every fucking move that gets made by the government. There's no, like I said, you can't draw a logical point by point projection for what's going to happen next. It's like we do something and then we're just kind of waiting to see what happens, and then some other shit happens and then we respond to that. There's not a momentum of action that you can go, okay, what's likely going to happen next is this. Now you got a lot of motherfuckers that are trying to make long-term projections, but they're being vague as possible because even they don't know what the fuck is happening. Like, look at Denmark right now is having nationwide riots over the lockdown. Ain't got nothing to do with right-wing politics and all that. It's like, look, fucker, you can't keep us locked in the house. And I think Denmark is one of the countries that is doing the UBI as well. So they're giving people $2,000 checks or whatever the equivalent of that is. It's not going to help. We're not even doing that. And it's becoming a serious fucking problem, man. Like, it's this halfway bullshit like what we have down here, again, where the bars and grills are open, but the bars aren't. But the restaurants are at half capacity, and then they want to fucking tell you how many people you can have to your Super Bowl party. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I don't think the majority of the population goes up in arms and starts getting crazy about this, but we know that we got mad motherfuckers running around this country. Like, just people that just need an excuse. Just give them a reason and they will fucking spark. And all we're doing is pouring gas on this shit. There's nobody, I'm not seeing anybody in the federal or the state or the local government that is trying to mitigate this. They're not trying in any fashion. They say things, but the actual actions that get taken, all they do is exacerbate the problem.
Again, I revert back to what I said 30 or 45 minutes ago. Nobody, and I hate to say it this way, but I want to get my point across. Nobody that matters up here, nobody that matters is speaking about health. There's so many benefits that you could benefit from taking care of your health. And the fact that even if you were to talk about it, there's still people that wouldn't give a fuck. Like my uncle.
Right.
My uncle's 57 years old, I think. And this dude doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about vitamins, a glass of milk. He doesn't. His mentality is, I'm going to die anyway. Literally. That's
I think it was you that I had that conversation with, man, where it was like the point at which I just kind of threw my hands up in the air and went, fuck it, is when my, 70-year-old relatives just started walking into fucking doctor's offices like it wasn't a fucking thing. They were just like, well, I got an appointment. I got to go to the doctor's office. It's like, that's where bugs live. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm not the one that has COPD. I'm not going to drop dead from a minor fucking lung infection. But if you want to take that risk, well, by all means, go fucking do it. Yeah. But
it's like, I just feel you. Oh, this was my point. My fucking ADD, man. I hate it. This was my point. So I feel, I'm not saying on a large scale, and I'm not saying it's going to solve the problem, because you always got to have that one fuck face. There's always one fuck face.
Sometimes there's a dozen.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm saying is, I feel that if the public was better educated, believe it or not, bro, there's people in this country that do not know what vitamin D is for. They have no idea what it is. Why they know it's a vitamin. They don't know what it's for.
Hey, look, somebody showed them a food pyramid when they were 7 years old, and that's all they needed to know.
They stuck to it. You know what I'm saying? And now we know that food pyramid is bullshit. Anyway.
Shove the grains up your ass.
So what I'm saying is, I strongly feel that if somebody up here that matter, the same people that are telling you, stay in the house, don't leave your house, stay locked in, don't touch people, don't approach people, don't go in the street. Mm-hmm. You get those same people, because it's working, they're telling everybody, don't leave, don't go anywhere, and it's working. Everybody's staying home. Well, not everybody, but people staying home and shit. Those same people, if they were to say, hey, look, if you take this vitamin right here, just daily, just take it, just pop water, good, drink water, simple, drink water, drink plenty of water, stay away from sugars a little bit, not all, just a little bit, stay away from sugars. Hey, take a fucking walk for 10 minutes daily, just 10 minutes, just walk. You know what I'm saying? I feel that if they were to do it with the viciousness, because it's vicious, bro, of them pushing in to stay locked in with that fear, I feel that it would even be a different outlook on us as the people that you're talking about, the ones that are like this close to like drive off the edge. It would even help them, because think about it. The only thing that you're telling the motherfucker that's about to drive off the edge, bro, you keep telling him. It's like a caged animal. You corner him. Eventually, if you corner him off enough, what is he going to do? The only direction that he has to go after being cornered is straight ahead with their head down, and they're going to claw you and eat your ass out. Now, if you're into that, that's a different story. But that's what I'm saying. I feel. Well,
let me throw this at you, man. Let's shift just a little bit here. What's the breaking point? Like for you personally, man. Now, obviously, if your kid was, it's like, hey,
what do you mean by the breaking point exactly?
Well, you brought up the example of like, okay, what if they do require the vaccination for? Because there's legitimate talk about having it for public transportation, where you won't be able to do,
I don't know, man, because
like I'm gonna assume that if it comes to the point where like you and your ex-wife are out of work, and it's like, hey, we need food for the kid, Shit's gonna get crazy, man, right? But is there a point before that?
I'm gonna tell you this, and this is probably where we're not gonna connect because we feel different, and that's okay. And I'm talking about me and you, and that's okay. That's not a problem. But I would like for you to understand where I'm coming from. There's no other way to say it, bro. But I'm gonna try to explain as best as I can. People can think of me whatever they want, right? That I'm a bad person, that I'm a piece of shit, that I say shit that I shouldn't and shit like that.
Hey, Freddy, I was saying that shit off the mic, man. You ain't got to bring it.
But the point is that I strongly believe in God. And God has made a promise to me. Not just to me, but God made a promise to his people, right? And I strongly believe that God, delivers on his promises. So I feel, I'm not saying it's not going to get to the point that you're emphasizing. I'm not saying that.
Why do I feel like you're about to duck this question?
No. I'm going to answer your question. So that's what I was going to say. If it were to come to that, to answer your question like directly at face value, unfortunately, I have to say, I don't know what I would do. And
that's a fair answer.
Because the logical thing to do in your mind and in my human mind would be to get it because my kid needs to eat. That's the logical thing. But as crazy as it may sound, I strongly feel within me that that's not exactly what God would want what God would want his people to do. So the other part that I was going to say, not that God would not let it get to that point, but what I'm saying is if God would let it get to that point, he would show me what to do. I don't know right now because I'm not there. Like I'm not at that point. Would it hurt? Yes. Would I be scared? Yes, I definitely would. I'm human. Fear would definitely be a thing.
Big motivator.
Because fear, bro, you don't fear hunger until you've been through it. You know what I'm saying? And I've been through some shit. Like I've been through a couple of days with not eating, but I'm talking about like real hunger where like you possibly look at another human being and you're like, that leg may look yummy at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what I'm saying is, I don't know what I would do, but and I may be wrong, but I somehow feel that the logical thing to do in everybody's mind, mine included, which would be get the vaccine. I don't think that that's the right thing to do. But
yeah. See, we're talking about two different logic.
Shit. That's not what you were asking?
I'd be hitting up Walmart trucks with a shotgun, but that's... Look, I'm asking, like, at what point do you look at Mad Max and go, maybe? Like, look, I've been joking about this for years, man, but if we go fucking post-apocalyptic, shit starts breaking down, you can't get gas at the gas station type of shit, my first option is Warlord.
Well, and again,
when I say Warlord, I just mean like, look, we're not going to have the societal contract, we're going to play nice with each other. It's like, look, at the point at which it breaks down, but where's the breakdown? Like, what are we actually considering the breakdown?
So I get, so this is where I kind of contradict myself. So, I mean, if it were to get to that, that I can answer. I strongly believe that I would go all out. What I mean by going all out, I mean like I would do whatever it physically took to feed my kid.
No, but I'm saying, what is the pressure point for that? Because I get what you're saying. I didn't even when you said I would get it, like, again, I thought we were talking about the Walmart truck. You meant the vaccine. Yeah, man, I'll be honest. The vaccine's not an option for me. It's not.
You wouldn't do it. I forgot. I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you, would you get the vaccine?
No.
No. I feel the same way. But let me ask you, what? And I'm talking about you. Fuck everybody else and fuck what everybody else is saying. Why wouldn't you get it? What is your logic behind not getting it?
I don't see the efficacy. I don't see the need. I mean, like...
No, what do you mean you don't see the need?
I don't live in a major metropolitan area where it's...
that doesn't matter, bro. You can live in the boonies and still get this shit.
All right, motherfucker, this is where we need to talk about numbers, man. Because, like, you hear this shit about, like, okay, the Valley is one of the highest infection rates.
My uncle lives in a ranch, bro, away from civilization, and he got it.
How? He doesn't know how the fuck he got it? Doesn't have any fucking clue.
No. And I'm not mad or anything. I'm surprised. The fact that you react that way, it's surprising, because that's what I've been trying to tell people. This shit
ain't magical, man.
No, what I'm saying is, this is what I've been trying to tell people. I repeat, you do not need to be in a crowd to catch this shit. You don't.
We don't need to be in a crowd, but you do need to be in some place where you're getting enough of a viral load at one time.
I don't believe
unless you've got already like some kind of compromised immune system.
Let me give you an example of how I believe, because again, nobody knows, but how I believe you can also contract this shit. And I'm gonna keep it very simple, man, because I don't like getting technical and shit. I don't even want to use that fucking example. Knock on wood.
Then don't.
But say that somebody comes right here to the door, right? And they to the door, my door.
Yeah.
And they have COVID, right?
Right.
They're outside. They're out there. It's one person. They have COVID. They don't know where they got it. They don't know if they have it right now.
Right.
Again, this is what I feel and what I believe. If that person touches the doorknob, they touch, twist, whatever. Hey, and I'm here. Let's keep in mind that I'm here, they're there. So there's a distance, right?
Okay.
I don't know if it's 6 feet or not, but there's a distance. And then, hey, whatever, bye. And they leave. Mm-hmm. I feel, and there's not enough evidence to say no or yes at this point, because you don't know who to believe. But I do feel that if I get up and if that doorknob is not wiped down with disinfectant and cleaned and so on and so forth, and I go and touch, right? Mm-hmm. And it's on my hand now, I feel that if I touch some of my bodily orifices, eyes, ears, mouth, nose, shit like that, I can contract that way. Now, there's medical professionals that will tell you right now that that's not possible, but there's also not enough evidence right now to prove that that's not possible. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, you talk about prove, man.
Because look, I'll give you another example. My cousin, my little cousin, she got it. She got COVID, right? She's a teacher, but nobody's going to school. She's working from home.
Right.
At her house, it's only her daughter, and her husband. 3 people. Mm-hmm. This chick doesn't even let me go to her house. She doesn't let her mom go to her house. Everything gets dropped off like somewhere on the porch. Before it's taken into the house, she wears gloves. She sprays it down. They put packages for, I think, a week in their shed before they go out and bring them in the house. She's been doing that forever. And she got it. She also does not know how she got it. I was like, I don't. And it's funny how she got it. like I said, her husband lives with her and her kids live with her. She got it, but none of them got it.
They all got tested?
Yeah. And none of them got it. She was the only one that had it. And of course, as soon as they found out that she had it, protocol. She called her mom. Her mom has a room in the back of the house that nobody uses. And she was like, you can self-isolate there. And she was like, it was like I was living in a fucking, what do you call it in prison? A fucking, the hole. So her mom would go and drop her off food there and like take off and shit.
Well, technically speaking, it is a special housing unit.
Yeah. So and she does not know. Oh, and she doesn't go out. She doesn't go out in public. She doesn't go to restaurants. So they don't eat out publicly. She cooks. She does most of her cooking because my cousin knows how to cook. So she doesn't understand how she got it. So anyway, back to my point, bro. I strongly do the flu. Let's go to something that supposedly is a lot simpler. The flu, right? The flu, as far as they've been studying this shit for years. So the flu, as far as they know, it's the same. I'm not saying it's the same thing as COVID. I'm saying that the flu, you do contract it that way. You can contract the flu by somebody that touched something and then you touched it and then you touch yourself or whatever and then you get it. I strongly believe that COVID is the same way. So the whole doorknob example, I believe that. Now, the fact that if you go to a large crowd, to me, that just enhances your chances of catching it. Why do you think? I mean, I haven't asked you anymore, but why do you think when we started doing this shit, why do you think every time you would come in, I would ask you, hey man, have you been like staying away from people or like have you been out?
Yeah, we had that conversation on multiple times.
Yeah. So that's the reason why that's why because I wanted to know like if you were in contact with large crowds or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, I do strongly believe, and I could tell that by what I'm telling you, you don't necessarily believe that you can get it like that, but I do.
Okay. Not that I don't believe that surface contact isn't a transmission vector.
Because there's also proof. There's also written proof. If you pull up an article, that if COVID comes in contact with like clothes or like the floor or like the surfaces, like if it comes in contact with the table, it stays there. The virus stays alive for a couple of days. Which, what does that mean in my logic? If I go and touch that COVID infected piece of clothing, I'm gonna get it. And
okay, but this goes to the viral load question, because there definitely does seem to be some indication.
But the viral load is different.
Okay, there seems to be an indication that there are some people who are very susceptible to this, whether it's immunocompromisation or just there is some attribute that we're not looking at that makes some people very susceptible to this particular infection. But for the majority of cases, it seems to be that the viral load not only determines whether or not there will be infection, but also the degree of that infection, the severity of
But
symptoms.
again, I'm not a medical professional, but I try to use my logic.
I'll be honest, at this point, I don't even give a shit about medical professional. There's been way too many assholes with lab coats talking nonsense out their ass this whole time.
So again, perfect example with the flu. The flu, it's simple. With the flu, if you're exposed to like a shitload of it, like let's say that somebody, just for the sake of the example, is dying of the flu because they've either had it for a long time or it's just incubated within their system, because they're immunocompromised. And then you come in contact with that one person that has that. The viral load that you may get from that person may affect you horribly
Right.
If you're not immunocompromised. So that's what I'm saying. The viral load does matter and does make a difference in how bad it's gonna hit you. The only thing I was trying to explain is the viral load and you coming in contact with it and not being a huge amount or whatever. This is a part that I don't know how to explain because I'm not a medical professional. But just you coming in contact with a little bit of it, like the doorknob or whatever, it's still, to me, if you get it and your immune system is not in tip-top shape, you still run a high risk of something like horrible happening to you, or you having a horrible experience, and I'm even saying short of death. I'm not saying like let's say that you survive and you don't die,
right?
But you're gonna have a horrible fucking COVID-19 experience.
Okay, but on the opposite end of that spectrum, there seems to be, and I'm not hearing almost. No, I'm gonna go out there. I haven't heard anyone fucking mention this fact, but it seems pretty evident by the fucking numbers. There's a portion of our population that is either not experiencing any effect from this, like they're getting it, they're infected, yada yada, runs the course, and then that's it. Mm-hmm. Maybe they get the sniffles, maybe a little bit of mucus, that's it.
No, and there's some people that don't get anything. It runs right through them, and they don't see a single fucking symptom.
Right. But every time you hear the conversation around that, it's like, oh, it's a statistical anomaly. It's like, no.
There's people. Have you read about the people that get COVID and do not experience any symptom at all, like no flu symptom, no, nothing? But I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be laughing, but it's kind of funny. But what happens to them is they randomly pass out.
We talked about this, man. There's been a couple of cases of that, but like it's honestly what that seems to be is oxygen deprivation. So it's not that they're not experiencing symptoms.
No,
it's
well,
just
they're
that
not getting all the other symptoms. That's and then because there's been
they're still having respiratory symptoms, and
no, that's what I'm saying.
No, that's why they're passing out. Is because they don't have enough oxygen in their blood. There are people that are walking around like they're not exhibiting. It's basically COPD type of thing, but it's not. They're not experiencing it to the point where they're going like, "Oh, I'm having a problem right now." So they're just walking around, and then the oxygen level gets too low, and they fucking drop.
Yeah.
Okay. That's another anomaly that we're not seeing any exploration of why. It's the same thing.
But they don't. That's the thing, though. Like they don't know, dude. Again, I'm not trying to defend them.
No. There's nothing to defend them about. They're not doing anything, man. Like you're not seeing. There's nobody talking about actually studying, let's say, genotype markers. Like, all right, for example, there's the northwestern population of Europe. There's like a 25% chance that like certain viruses like HIV just can't infect because they don't have the gene marker for whatever that protein is.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Okay.
Wait, are we? Well, hold on. Let me make sure we're talking about the same thing.
I'm saying every indication I'm seeing is that we have at least a portion of the population, and whether or not it's tied back to that, because I have heard some talk around, say, the bubonic plague and that whole protein shift that happened because of that. But there seems to be at least a sizable portion of the population. Not sizable. That might be hyperbolic. There is at least a portion of the population that is, if not immune, at least very well defended against this virus for one reason or another. And I'm not hearing anyone talk about putting effort into seeing why that is.
I thought that's what they were doing with the plasma that they're asking for. When they ask you if you have to sign a paper saying that they can study your plasma from the recovered patients.
Right, but that had more to do with one of the treatments they were using for a while was using plasma infusions from people who had already recovered to treat people who were currently infected.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't a specific, it wasn't they were going like, oh, this person has, this type of plasma and that'll help. It was just the plasma itself having fuck, I can't remember the right word for it, but the proteins, the protein markers and all that shit for the immune system, that was helping with treatment. And I haven't even heard whether or not that's still going on.
Yeah.
We're losing track of these conversations in a way that is really indefensible. I mean,
but again, I hammer the same point. But do you see how relentlessly they haven't taken their foot off the gas on the whole stay home, like stay home, don't touch people.
Well, this is why you got people screaming about this whole, but the Great Reset and all this nonsense.
And it's like somebody really that's why I'm so grateful for people like Dr. Rhonda Patrick, that she's got a pretty big platform and she's like openly speaking about the shit she knows and the shit that she's found out and stuff like that. So we need more people like that. And again, I go back to what I believe basic logic is. COVID is a virus. They've already identified COVID as a virus. There's been many proven factors that vitamin C fights viruses. I'm not saying vitamin C fights COVID, but vitamin C is proven to fight other viruses. Why, motherfucker, just try it. Just take vitamin C, take vitamin D. This is a virus. I guarantee you're not going to do anything bad. You know what I'm saying? Like the worst thing that can happen is nothing will happen if vitamin C doesn't fight COVID. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's why I keep telling my friends, people that have gotten infected that I've known, I keep telling them, I know that I've annoyed people because I've told them, and I keep telling them, my ex-wife is one of them. Dude, she's a nurse. And to this day, she refused, not that she refuses, but she makes no effort to take vitamins. And the doctor already told her that she's vitamin deficient. So she needs to take them anyway. So I was like, dude, why don't you why? Like, I don't get it. Pop a pill, drink water. That's it. Just once a day.
Just to kind of go a little bit further with that point, man. The kind of random pattern that we do see to people getting infected, like, again, your uncle living out in the middle of nowhere and, just like, boom, COVID.
Yeah.
I wonder what a blood work
would look like.
Yeah. Like what, dude, how many of these people that are coming down with these massive fucking respiratory symptoms are just deficient as fuck, man? Yeah. I mean, we know they're like most people walking around are vitamin D deficient.
Shout out to Dr. Rhonda Patrick, and y'all can Google this, look up her channel. Her channel's called Find My Fitness. She has done, and this is a really fucking smart lady, and she's not an infectious doctor. May I say that? She's a nutrition and health doctor. But she has found out, or from, again, like everybody else, stuff that she's read, that there is, and I completely lost my train of thought. Fuck. Vitamin D. I was going somewhere. What did you say? It was
vitamin Z, vitamin C, zinc.
You were saying something. The previous, what you just said.
Well, just the deficiencies in general.
There you go. Deficiencies. Okay. So this is where I was going. Dr. Rhonda Patrick says that there's studies that show that 80%, up to 80% of the U.S. population, especially males, are deficient in vitamin D. Like across the board, 80%.
Yeah.
That's a fucking astronomical number.
So what you're saying is dudes need to wear shorts more often. Got it.
and no shirts and go outside and cut the yard.
Sun's out, guns out, motherfucker.
Yeah. No, man, but vitamin and
by the way, I'm half joking with that. I really do think there is something to there's a cultural thing that we got going on where a lot of us
and right now that you mentioned cultural thing, unfortunately for black people, I don't know how to say this without sounding racist, but because
the vitamin the winter vitamin deficiency is real.
Yeah, well,
but it also depends on geographic location.
What I was gonna say is black people, unfortunately, because you're black, you're more susceptible to being vitamin D deficient because your skin pigmentation does not absorb the vitamin from. I don't know exactly the science behind it, but your pigmentation does not absorb properly the vitamin from the sun and stuff. So,
well, yeah, man, melanin literally keeps UV light from getting through your skin because the vitamin D synthesis or the first step of that takes place at like the third layer of the epidermis or something like that. Exactly. Melanin's up on the first or second layer.
Yeah. So it was black people, and I think Asians. I think was the Asian men was the other one.
Well, I'll tell you something I've been seeing more and more lately, and it's not like you couldn't see it before, man. Very often you run into people where it's like, Jesus, man, when's the last time you've seen the sun? You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially now that you're seeing a lot of people on camera.
There was this one girl. There's this one girl. Hmm? She was a goth chick, right?
Right.
But I hope she doesn't, because she listens to this shit. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say her name. But well, I will say this. She's really hot. Like, I was attracted to her, right?
Okay.
Yeah. But the reason that I bring her up was because, like, one of the parts that was unattractive, kind of, was that she was really, like, white. But I don't mean white as like in...
pale.
She was pale. Yeah. But she was... Have you ever seen The Addams Family?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. Like that. And she says that because she didn't like her skin color either, right? And it sucks too, because she was pretty and she's attractive, but she said she didn't like her skin color. But she's like, I've tried to get a tan. I go out in the sun and like nothing happens. But it's something, I mean, I'm not saying she's sick or anything, because I'm pretty sure she's not, but it's just the way she was born, like her pigmentation, it was just, that's what she is, you know what I'm saying? But she was
there's a different, like, I went to school with these twins, man, that were not twins, brothers, but they look like fucking twins, man, because it was just, they were like pale. Oh, you know that chick that the female singer from De Antwoord?
No.
You know De Antwoord?
I can't, yeah, but I can't picture.
Just like, think like bleach blonde, only like they missed the head and just kept pouring it over the, like just pale as fuck. Shit. Like kind of people that could hide in the snow. You know what I'm saying?
Like people from like Greenland.
Like just this step from albino. Yeah. Like those kind of like Caucasian plus.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, man. I've met people like that. They don't tan. Wrestler, they just burn.
That one wrestler with the red hair, but he's white as fuck.
No, I'm not even talking ginger. I'm talking like just
that's
pale, like
okay.
Like that white blonde hair, like just fucking pale,
like platinum colored hair
on every checkbox. It's just yes, platinum blonde, no freckles even.
She had pink nipples, by the way. Don't ask me how I know that. But honestly, I thought that was sexy.
No. I get you.
I'm not gonna lie. Fuck, dude. I hope she doesn't find out who I'm talking about.
What I'm saying
she's probably thinking right here, I got pink nipples. This motherfucker talking about me.
My point is, I do get that there are people that naturally have a problem, just like intaking, you know, they just look pale regardless of what happens. But what I'm saying is more and more I've been seeing like interviews with people, like especially with the Zoom thing. And that's what the thing is. I thought it was lighting at first. Like I was watching this one interview with this woman and I was like, something looks off about her image. And like finally she started moving and I realized, oh, that's not highlight. This woman hasn't been outside in months.
Yeah.
I mean, she looked like a vampire had hit her. You know what I'm saying? Like just pale and drained.
Yeah.
And I think what's going on right now is just exacerbating that situation in a horrible way, man.
Yeah. Another thing that I want to throw out there for people as well, like people that are really, really severe. First of all, go get your panel done. Go to your doctor. It costs you like, if you have insurance, it may be covered by your insurance. If it's not covered, it's going to cost you like about $75. But go to your doctor and get your blood work panel done, but tell them that you want to find out if you're vitamin deficient. Do that first so that at least you know where you're deficient. Second thing that I advise for people, especially because of the situation that we're in now, if you're severely deficient with whatever vitamins, something I strongly recommend, because it's like giving your system a kick in the ass, like hard, from a professional a field goal kicker in the NFL. That's what it's like. Go and at least pay for at least 3 treatments of a vitamin drip. And that is going to put you back on the saddle. It's not going to get you to where you're supposed to be, but it's going to like skyrocket you to at least getting back on the saddle of where you should be. Vitamin drips are expensive. They're pricey. And they're not covered by your insurance. I tried. I asked. They're not. No insurance covers them. So it is pricey. But just think about it like this. We spend so much fucking money on fast food. Shit that's literally gonna kill you. You're digging an early grave by eating fast food. And a lot of us eat it every day. You know what I'm saying? So, like, pinch a little money from there. Save yourself to get you. And again, this is for the people that are like severely vitamin deficient. If you're there borderline, if you're right under, you can just up your IU count of your vitamins. Your doctor will tell you exactly what you need to take. You don't need to take it from me. And if you don't know, and if you can't go to the doctor, a good baseline to start with vitamin C and vitamin D, if that's all you can afford, is get you 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. It costs for $7 a bottle, for 100 caps, and 5,000 IUs, which is about 250 milligrams, I think, of vitamin D. So that's like a baseline. If you're deficient, you're gonna need a lot more than that. But a baseline, if you're right there, that can help you out. Yeah, I'm just telling you this if you can't afford to go to a doctor. But if you can afford to go to a doctor, if you have insurance, like, do that. And that's gonna help you, man. It's just people, the medical professionals that should be saying this shit are just not saying it. And it's like driving me crazy. Everything that I do and everything that I take, I'm taking everything that I possibly can to strengthen my immune system. As far as what I've heard, aside from elderberry, because I don't take elderberry. I don't know why I don't take elderberry.
You don't really need elderberry, man.
Well, I've heard that. But the reason I bring that up is because that's supposedly also supposed to help your immune system. I don't take it, though. But that's what I'm saying. Aside from elderberry, I take, because I've done my research, I've read, I'm taking every single thing that I can possibly take to strengthen your immune system, which is vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and zinc. So those are the only thing. And like I said, elderberry. But like Sean said, you don't really need it. If you take enough vitamin D and vitamin C, you're
just
you're
to
fine.
Throw a qualifier on there. Along with that, or more importantly,
I said zinc, right?
You said
okay.
zinc.
Okay.
More importantly, whether or not you can afford to go do any of this, I think there are a lot of people that need to look at the things that they're doing that are depleting. Like you're talking about, you eating fast food every day. That oil is draining your system. Like it's not, your system is having to spend more calories and more nutrients to process that useless those useless calories and that useless cholesterol, then it is then you would benefit.
If you cook at home, if you can substitute for olive oil, it's not that much of it, and it doesn't really taste different. I hate when people say, "Well, it's because it tastes different."
Wait, what are you talking about?
Olive oil. Cook with olive oil. Then the reason that you should cook, or not the reason that they recommend that you use olive oil is not because it's healthy, but it's because olive oil is the only one that's proven that your body actually throws out. And it doesn't really stay in your arteries and like create fat the way that like corn oil or vegetable oil does.
Yeah, by the way, when people start talking about, we've had this conversation off and on for years at this point, but yeah, it's not that cholesterol is bad for you, but if it's not,
it's just a bad one.
Yeah, if your body doesn't know how to process it, it's going to be just floating around in your system. A lot of times, if you put enough of it in there, it's like carbohydrates. Like a lot of people wind up with leaky gut, not because they've got some immunocompromisation. It's just that they've got so much carbohydrates going through their system in their diet that it's causing the reaction in their gut and is leading to free-floating free-floating proteins in the bloodstream, which is why a lot of people, develop wheat allergies and egg allergies and all this shit. Yeah. As opposed to, say, peanut, which, funny enough, if you give it to kids, it seems to help them not get peanut allergies, but whatever. Actually, if you're talking about cooking oil, if any of you are doing...
Coconut oil is good too, but with that one, you got to be careful because I think I've only used it once, but I've heard that it's so rich in fat that you also can't use it daily.
Whatever you do, don't use coconut oil for sweets because there is that's enough of a saturated fat that you mix that with sugar and your body just does not process that properly. I would actually recommend eating coconut oil and olive oil if you're going to use them. Yeah. Use them raw. What I was going to recommend for cooking is if you can get your hands on some decent grapeseed oil, it is almost impossible to burn that shit. So you're not going to wind up with this like denatured,
I've never tried that. What oil is this?
Grapeseed?
Grapeseed.
Not rapeseed. That's canola oil. Different thing.
Grapeseed.
Grapeseed. You can, dude, I stir fry with that shit. You can turn the burner up full blast, and unless you just leave it there for like half an hour, it's not going to burn. It has a high smoke point, great for cooking. You can use a very small amount with it. And then afterwards, when you're done, add butter, olive oil, whatever it is whatever like flavorful fat you're going to use. Yeah. Use it then. Don't cook for whatever you do. Don't fucking cook high temperature food with olive oil. You're just wasting it. Yeah. You're just burning it off. That's all. Avocado oil is another good one. But it's not that flavorful. It's not necessarily that nutritious.
I understand people are different, but I've never used oil, like cooking oil, for flavor. Yeah, I feel that if you're going
that's what I'm saying, though. Yeah. I think there are a lot of people that fuck up and wind up using the seasoning oils, because like olive oil really is a seasoning oil, man. Like it's you.
Well, the only reason I recommended that is because the only one, and you can read about it, it's the only oil that I know of that does. Basically, what I'm saying is it doesn't stay in your body. It doesn't. I mean, you would need to consume large amounts for it to possibly stay in your body. But that oil, your body, for whatever reason, it gets rid of it.
Go one more point. If you're going to go through the effort of eating olive oil, adding it to your diet, get the extra virgin. Don't fuck around with the
that's what I meant. Sorry, if I didn't make that distinction. I've
had that conversation with
the extra virgin oil. Yeah, it needs to be extra virgin oil. It's a little, and I get it. It's a little bit. Well, no, it's a lot more expensive. It's a lot more expensive.
You're going to use less of it though if you're not cooking with it.
Yeah. It's a lot more expensive, but it's worth it.
Dude, the first time I saw somebody just pour like a quarter of a fucking thing of like, yeah, dude, we're gonna fry some shit. It's like, not with the olive oil, you motherfucker. The hell's wrong with you?
And now it's funny, dude. It's funny when I see people deep fry shit in oil, but that they don't use a deep fryer. You seen those ghetto ass people that don't have a deep fryer and they use like a
pan fry, yeah.
But they like drench because, and I get it, because to deep fry you have to, because it covers it has to cover the food so it can fry properly. My point is that because I've seen people do it, when I see people do that shit now, like before I used to think like yummy, you know what I'm saying? Right. Now I see it and I can't help to think, but like, oh, that fucking clogged up artery.
Okay, this is another reason I recommend the grapeseed, because you can get the crispiness on the dish without burning the oil.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So you don't wind up with like that layer. You know, like after you deep fry it, you wind up with that like layer of like just kind of gummy shit on the side of the container.
Yeah,
you don't get that because this stuff doesn't burn. It doesn't denature. It just. I mean, you can burn it. Let's be honest here, but you use a lot less of it. Because let me be honest, if you can use just a little bit on the bottom where it's making contact with the surface, that's all you need. Like, don't be wrong, you can deep fry the fuck out of something and cook it real quick.
Yeah.
But like you said, man, it's just going to be a shitload of rancid oil.
Yeah, man, it's just. I mean, before when I didn't know any better, I was like, oh, yummy, greasy, and everything, but. Yeah, now that I know what I do to my body when I eat certain things, it's like, fuck. And it's more so, it sucks for me because when there's something wrong with my body, like I can feel it. Like, for example, when my blood pressure shoots up, right. I can feel, and it feels fucking horrible. So it's like, okay, now, and then I'm getting older. So as you get older, you're just like, I can't do that because my body's not the same.
I'm getting to the point where I feel shit in my knees, man. Like if I eat some shit that's kind of fucking with me, or so, like my knees will start hurting. Like the joint pain comes into effect a lot more, and it does. It seems to have a lot to do with the bad oils.
Yeah, you know, another thing that I found out recently, that for whatever reason now I can't stomach, and I really can't. I throw up. I've tried it 3 times now, and I've thrown it up. Milk, I can no longer, but I can eat cheese. I eat cheese, and there's no problem. But milk, like when I pour a glass of milk alone, or when I pour milk into coffee,
immediately fucks with you.
Yeah, immediately. I haven't tried cereal, but because I haven't had cereal in a long time. But yeah, milk into coffee, milk alone. It like immediately like fucks me up like bad, and I don't know why. But I mean, I don't think I'm lactose intolerant because, like I said, I could eat cheese and I'm fine. It doesn't do anything.
What kind? Just any kind of cheese?
Yeah, well, I eat cheese on the daily, bro.
Okay, but like what kind of cheese?
Everything. Every cheese you can think of, I can.
Because like the different cheeses do have like it's denatured to a certain point. Yeah. As far as how much of the lactose is converted.
Well, see, and that's the other thing, that with cheese, I eat it on the daily, and I eat a lot of it. Like I eat a lot of cheese. Like most of my meals contain cheese. But with like the milk, I can't. Like when was it? Yesterday or the day?
To be honest, that should be like one of the along with a long list of other things. That should be one of the mottos for South Texas. All of my meals have cheese.
Yeah, all of me. It's just delicious. The other one, I don't know, yesterday or the day before that, I went to Starbucks and they had this new drink, this new coffee or chocolate. I don't know what it was, but it was this new drink, and it looked delicious on the fucking thing. And then I was like, "Ooh, I want that," but they made it with milk. I was like, it has milk. And there's like, well, can you make it without milk? And she's like, yeah, but it's not, the flavor is not going to be the same. And it's not going to be that drink. Basically, what she was saying was that the milk was what made that drink what it was.
Right.
And then I was like, oh shit. So I couldn't have the drink or whatever. So I was like, fuck. I just noticed that. It doesn't bother me. And for the people that think that you need milk to survive, or that your body, oh no, I said it. I better way to say it. People that think that your body needs milk. Just a fun fact. Milk is not even for human consumption. Just so y'all know. Just keep that in mind. Milk was not made for human consumption. We adapted to drinking milk for whatever reason. But again, one of those fabulous lies that we were told as kids as part of the food pyramid. I remember vividly, bro, one of my teachers telling me that I had to drink all my milk because if not, I wasn't going to grow.
Well, that goes back to the whole pseudo.
And I was like, ma'am, now. I was like, ma'am, fuck you. My dad is 5'5", my mom is 5'1". Genetics say I'm not going to fucking grow.
If I was 6'5", maybe we'd have some questions here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
But yeah, I think.
So let's see. Eat healthy. Get some sunshine. Don't trust the government. And anything else?
Yes, all of that. But on a serious note, man, and I know
I was being very serious.
You're on a very, very fucking serious note. I know y'all gonna hate me for this. But for the sake of your life and humanity, take your fucking vitamins. They're not that expensive. They're not. Get the fucking HEB brand, or they just take them. It doesn't take long. You swallow. A bunch of you bitches swallow other shit with no problem. Swallow some vitamins. They're good for you.
At the very least, eat a salad, fucker.
I have different thoughts of that, but well, we're not gonna go into that. But yes, take your vitamins. Take your vitamins. You'd be. Oh, I'd like to point that out before we leave. Fun fact about Freddy: we're 2021, right? Okay.
We only lost 1 year so far.
Knock on wood. February 2020. Right before this whole shithole unraveled. February 2020 was the very last time that I was that I got sick with like the common cold. I remember because it happened right before the pandemic. And we're now February 2021. So it's been 1 full year that I have not gotten sick. And to be honest with you, I started thinking to myself, like, what is so different from, back then? And one of the things that I can point out is for over a year, it's been way more than a year. It's been maybe a year and a half, 2 years maybe. I've been taking vitamins every day. So yes, I do feel strong enough to say that taking vitamins every day do make a difference. I stopped doing the vitamin drips because they're fucking expensive. But vitamin drips did help a lot. But I just can't afford them. I do take vitamins and caps daily. And they do make a difference. It's so beautiful, man, not to be fucking walking around for 3 fucking days with sniffles and sneezing and fucking coughing all over the fucking place and feeling like shit. So, yeah. So I strongly believe vitamins make a difference. Might make a difference for you too. So just try it. Just try it. If it doesn't work, you can shit on me. Not like I'm gonna listen. But.
Hey, look, if we're giving out just personal shit, stop eating bread, fuckers. Stop it.
Oh yeah,
just stop it.
Sean can attest to that.
I'm not even talking about wheat, just rice. Matter of fact, cut out white potatoes too. Sweet potatoes, not bad. Probably get a little bit of fucking zinc from them. But yeah, man, just look. Let's put it this way. as you said, year and a half, taking vitamins, all that, no sickness. At most, in the last 5 years, I've gone maybe 1 day with the sniffles. No, I take that back. Maybe 3.
I've never asked you that. Do
I get sick?
Yeah.
Briefly. Maybe for like a day, half a day, something like that.
And then normally, how long do you go without getting sick? In a year, how many times do you get sick? Not how bad, just how many times you get sick in a year.
1 at the most. And like I said, that's like for a day. And dude, that's because
what do you do? What do you do to
I drink the liquors and smoke with the cigarettes. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying, man. It's not. People think it's this massive fucking thing, man. It's not. Look, I could be much healthier than I am now, but just the basic shit that I do keeps me pretty fucking healthy. You know what I mean? I think there are just too many.
Do you have high blood pressure? If you don't mind me asking.
No, I've never.
Or you don't know.
I've had low blood pressure before, but I don't think.
That's just as bad. But they're there, both. But I think
I think it had more to do with, much like the high blood pressure. It wasn't the effect itself. Like that wasn't the ultimate effect. That was just a byproduct of all the other shit that was going on with my diet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Damn, bro, I didn't know that. I didn't know that you also don't really get sick. It's because I know a lot of people, man. Like, not just in my family, but I know a lot of people in general that they're always fucking sick. I know of a particular person that they get sick like every other month. I'm not going to lie. One of the things that has probably given me a false sense of confidence about my own immune system is that one of my closest friends is one of those people that's constantly fucking sick. And this is somebody that during normal times, I'd see him like once a week. You know what I mean? Every time I'd be around and be sniffling and all this shit. Never caught anything from him. And you sure they're not Colombian sniffles? I'm not going to clarify on that, but let's just say I'm 90% sure that most of that is not. Okay. That. All right. Don't be wrong. Sometimes. But okay. My point being is, man, there are. Just do something. Just do something. Anything. Just vitamins. Just and watch your ass, Ace. And it's just amazing how it's they're not that expensive. People treat vitamins like I said, we spend more money on some other shit that is just, you know what I'm saying? Like right now I'm worried because like I told you earlier, I'm already out of vitamin C. I got D and all the other ones for like another month, but vitamin C is what I'm out of. And I'm trying to figure out right now, like I need to run out and get it because, hey, like I said, man, it feels awesome not to be able to just take on your day and actually get shit done because you need to get it done without feeling like shit. And this is coming from a person that I used to easy get sick 6 to 7 times a year, easy. Like I had a shitty immune, but I never took care of it. Fuck a vitamin, fuck a salad, you know what I'm saying? Fuck fruit, you know what I'm saying? Like that was me, like, you know. Greens for the blunt wrap, not for the dinner table. For sure, man. So yeah, take your vitamins. And on that note, y'all can find me at Freddy G on Instagram. Right on. You can find me at hatfieldstandup@gmail.com as well as Hatfield Standup on Facebook. Fuck Twitter. I think I'm going to knock that shit off, man. I'm getting tired of it. I still got like 20 followers. I haven't used it in forever. Yeah. Just every once in a while, I'll log in and look at the number and go, it's gone up or it's gone down. And I don't give a shit. But if you'd like to reach out to us here at the show, leave a message or something like that, bouncingbrainspodcast@gmail.com as well as Bouncing Brains Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you'd like to listen to the audio version of the podcast, you can go to shoutengine.com/bouncingbrains. You can also find us on Stitcher and Spotify. I don't know. Y'all reach out to and let me know. Should I
see if Pandora is a good option? Is anyone still using Pandora? Talk to us, people.
Shout out to our fellow comedian. Cool has very good feedback and very good listenership for Pandora. I didn't think of that, bro. Why didn't I think of that? Pandora.
I don't think anybody thinks about Pandora anymore, but I could be wrong.
But Cool has a very good following, and from what I understand, he has good feedback on. He hit somewhere on the top of some list. I know because he posted it somewhere. He's like, thank you to my faithful fans. Like I don't know if he was number 1 or number 2 and somewhere on Pandora, but I think he's been doing it for years though. He's been on Pandora for years.
I'm trying to remember when the first time I saw. I know the current series that he's doing, the talk, whatever it is.
Oh, talking shit with comics.
Yeah, that one he only started. I want to say beginning of last year, man. When all this.
No,
shit.
but I think again, from my understanding. I'm sorry, I'm looking at.
He does the podcast with Rayo as well.
Are they still doing that?
I haven't seen an episode go up, man. But
well, that's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying like he was doing that for years. Mike Rayo and Kuagenti out of Houston. Wise Guys Speak, I think was the name of the podcast. And by the way, go check out some of the if you're here in the RGV, go check out some of the local comics that are doing some shit. We've got the Not Suitable for Listeners podcast with Roy Alex Gomez, Humberto Moreno, and Joseph Soto out in where the fuck are they from? San Benito? San Juan?
Benito. San Juan, he said. San Benito.
I don't know.
San Benito people.
One of these saints.
Yeah, San Benito.
Then there's also the Weird Static with Jesse Lopez and Tyler Bowe and the Samurai name I can't remember, Dante. But yeah, go check some people out. Fucking look, it's gonna be a long time before
we get back to semi-normal.
Yeah. Like, look, man, this might go all sideways, and we may break up into various pirate states.
Or tribes.
Look, I'm just saying, you're going to try to rob... look, if you had to, if Texas breaks away from everything, do you invade Tamaulipas or Oklahoma? Because let's be honest, nobody wants to invade New Mexico. They ain't got nothing there. And Louisiana's too damn crazy. I think they would ally with us.
Tamaulipas, they have the best drugs and the best food. And, secured, armored bodyguards if you need them.
You heard it here, folks. Fuck Oklahoma. Thanks for listening.
And until next time, keep it tight.